If AI would take your job tomorrow, how long would you survive? AI is already replacing thousands of jobs a month. Goldman Sachs says that 50% of jobs could be automated by 2045. Unemployment could hit over 20% in the next 1 to 5 years. This is a white-collar bloodbath. And it's not a sci-fi movie. It's the reality of over $160 billion poured into AI in just 18 months. One of the largest funding in history from Sequoia, Andreessen Horowitz, Greylock, and other biggest venture capital firms. So are you financially prepared for your job to be wiped out by AI? Most people don't have a plan. They have a paycheck. Today, I'll share 3 steps how to get rich on a 9-to-5 salary, not only so that AI doesn't touch your income, but multiplies it. These steps are the exact steps that I took to go from $20 to 6-figure investments and millions of real estate deals while working full-time. Because the question isn't, will AI take my job? But is, will you build enough wealth that it doesn't matter? Number 1, mindset. So many people believe that getting to a 6-figure salary would make everything fall into place. The stress will go away, the bank account would grow, and finally life will get easier. You put in the hours, you miss kids' practices, you push for that next promotion, and when you finally get that salary, you realize you're still exhausted, anxious about money, and wondering, where did the time go? You started to see that you have been running in a hamster wheel. You worked hard, but you didn't actually move forward. I have a master's degree in organic chemistry, and I've been working in a lab for decades. I used AI the other day. What it did in about 15 seconds was what it would have taken me a whole week to do. I felt like throwing up hands and walking out. I never felt so defeated. On the other hand, other people in the lab think I'm the lab master now that I have AI on my side. They don't know I'm using AI. Soon, the robots will replace us. What I am even doing. Have you ever missed an important family moment for work? Did that get you closer to freedom? And now, with AI knocking at your door, replacing jobs left and right, this wheel feels faster. I know that feeling very well. I thought that if I work harder, pray harder, sacrifice more, then eventually everything would work out. But instead, I found myself tired and falling behind. That's when it hit me. The breakthrough that I was searching for outside, it had to start in my mind. This shift helped me go to a 6-figure stock market portfolio and do millions of real estate deals. And I'm not special. I had to learn how to stop fear and false belief from running my finances. The same shift, it's available to you too, if you're ready to face what's stopping you from getting to your next financial level. And don't get me wrong, life doesn't get magically better or perfect. Some of these beliefs still surface in my life today. But when you make that shift, you are now aware and have the tools to stop letting those beliefs control your finances and start being in control of your finances. And when you change your mindset, this is when your life prospers regardless of what's happening in the world, including AI. Because having the wealth allows you to not live in fear, but live in peace, that no matter what comes your way, you are financially stable. And this framework that I call the identity framework helped me go from letting the outside world dictate my finances and feeling behind to feeling at peace and in control of my money and making God the CFO of my finances. The first step in the identity framework is getting very clear on God's vision for your life and finances. And I mean His vision for your next 90 days, next year, 10 years. Yesterday, I was on a call that broke my heart. The person was 46 years old, married with 2 children, no savings, no investments, stressed, and no vision for his life. How would you feel if that was you? 5, 10, 20 years from now, realizing that you've worked so hard and live in fear of losing your job. Looking at your kids, knowing deep down inside that you haven't set them up for financial freedom because you didn't figure it out how to get there yourself. That's the danger of putting God's vision for you on the back burner, saying that I'll start tomorrow or when things calm down. You can't get back time. If you don't decide now, you will wake up with the title, the salary, the LinkedIn success, but not the freedom, faith, and the wealth you dreamed of, and a quiet voice asking, why didn't I start sooner? When you're tuned into God's vision for your life, short-term and long-term, that gives money a direction. And when money has direction, it multiplies. The second step in the identity framework is pinpointing the exact beliefs that are stopping you right now to go from 6 figures to the millionaire path. Do you know what they are? Do you know how to get them out of the way? For example, if you believe that the stock market is too risky, you're not going to invest in it. If you believe that real estate has no more deals left, you're not going to go out there and look for them. Have you asked yourself, why do you believe these things? Is it because you were told? Where do they come from? You've tried something that someone said, lost some money, and now it's a blanket belief for everything? Or is it because somebody said, no, just keep your money in a bank account because that's safe, and if you put it in a stock market, you will lose it? These are some beliefs that are keeping you stuck in the struggling mode, while others replace their salaries with stock market and real estate income. When you replace these beliefs, life changes. You no longer depend on a 9-to-5 paycheck or fear AI because your expenses are covered by the income produced by the assets that you invested in. You stop praying for Fridays and dreading Mondays. You wake up knowing that your money is working for you rather than the other way around. I can't fit the third part of the identity framework, the step that shows how to go from fear to financial peace, in this short video, but it's on page 2 of the 7-figure Unshakable Wealth roadmap. You can see it when you download it below. Number 2, manage. You know that feeling when you finally earn more, but somehow you still feel broke? No amount of money will make you rich if it's leaking. That's why so many lottery winners go broke. When I was 16 years old, I was left completely on my own to raise my 4-year-old brother on a $133 budget, half of which would go to his medication. No parents, basically a single mom. Not because I wanted to, but because I had no choice. And maybe you've been there too, paycheck to paycheck, trying to stretch every dollar, feeling like no matter how hard you try, there's always more month than money. It was during this time that I learned how to manage money well, not from a book, but from survival. Every dollar had a purpose and every mistake had a cost. Then at 21, I moved and stayed in the US with no parents, $20, and I was able to work hard and pay my way through college on a waitress income. If you ever felt alone and with the weight on your shoulders, you will understand what that kind of hustle feels like. And when I got my first corporate job with $65,000 salary in my 20s, I thought I made it, but I was wrong. I still had to learn how to manage my money in a way that I can save, invest, and build wealth while enjoying life. If you're in your 30s and 40s, you might feel like it's too late, but it's not. The real danger, it's not your age. It's waiting another day, month, year, hoping that things will get better or calm down. The best time to learn how to steward your money was yesterday. The second best is today. You're not behind. You're just one action away from turning that same paycheck that is causing you stress into a source of freedom. The important part is facing the reality that you can't push it for tomorrow anymore, because every day that goes by, you are sacrificing the prosperous future God intended for you. And with AI transforming the corporate world and replacing jobs, every skill you learn about managing and multiplying your money becomes your safety net and your advantage. I work in SaaS product marketing. Soon enough, my boss figures out she can replace our team with a few trained bots. And soon enough, she won't even be required to prompt the bots. The first thing that people think whenever we're talking about managing money is about setting a budget. Start cutting, restricting yourself, kind of like a starvation diet. And it does work in the beginning until it doesn't, because you brutally sacrifice today for tomorrow that might never come. So after living on a budget for a very long time, I realized that it won't make me rich either. That's when I built the money management system. The first step in it is not about penny pinching or spreadsheets. It might surprise you, as it's about asking, what do you truly value in life? Once I aligned my spending with my values, I stopped feeling guilty for buying things that matter and cutting off spending on things that didn't. I wasn't rich yet, but I did take control of my money. And money reflected my priorities, not my fears. Because when you focus on your values, you become empowered and in control of money, rather than being miserable, defeated, and tempted by the restriction of a budget. The second step in the money management system is to build the skills that actually no one teaches you: how to research, negotiate, and communicate. This is how you stop leaving money on the table and start putting hundreds to thousands of dollars in your pocket without working harder at your job, cutting lattes, or organic groceries at Costco. And this is where AI becomes your friend to do the heavy lifting for you, and rather taking income from you, it actually helps you multiply it. If you want to see how exactly this works, I break it down in the 7-figure Unshakable Wealth roadmap, which you can see it when you download it below. Number 3, multiply. Have you ever tried to multiply your money and felt like everyone is shouting different answers? Invest in the stock market. No, stock market is bad. Invest in real estate. No, real estate and stock market are bad. Crypto is it. Go all in AI. So many voices. And you're sitting there thinking, how am I supposed to know who is right? All of this conflicting advice leaving you overwhelmed, confused, not knowing what to do and where to start. This was me. I remember sitting there frozen, overwhelmed, paralyzed by information, watching my money sit there in the bank, doing nothing because I was too scared to make the wrong move. I got honest with myself and realized that confusion became my excuse. It was easier to scroll through opinions rather than take responsibility for my future. That's when I realized it wasn't about chasing the next hot thing. I had to go back to the basics. And I learned a fascinating thing. Look at your body. Every part has a purpose, and it perfectly works together. Now, what happens if you decide to work out one leg for the next 10 years? You completely ignore the rest of your body. You just focus on that one leg and one leg only. Do you see how out of whack that even sounds? First, you will lose muscle everywhere and be out of balance. Everything will get weak, low immunity, you'll have a miserable life, leaving you vulnerable to any external threat. That's what most people do with their money, depending on that one job, one investment. My company put a freeze on hiring more marketing staff because AI can do a lot of the heavy lifting. Investing, like the body, is holistic. And to be successful at it, we need to diversify. That's how God designed growth. So I started what I now call the exponential growth path. My first investment wasn't the stock market or real estate. It was myself. I learned how the market actually works. And instead of randomly selecting percentages in my 401k or not figuring out what those gibberish acronyms were, because that's the mistakes I made, I learned how to optimize my 401k. So I stuck the winning odds in my favor. And when I looked at the basic human needs, food, water, shelter, I knew I had to get into real estate. Because no matter what trends there are or AI, people would always need a place to live. And real estate is the hard asset that we humans will be in need of forever and ever. But I had no idea how to start. And I knew one thing: I couldn't afford not to do anything anymore. So I found a mentor and I paid him to teach me. And no, the money that I paid him, I didn't have it. I did it when I was living in a 1-bedroom apartment with no furniture. But I found a way, because the real cost was not the mentorship. It was being stuck and the wealth that I would be losing by not doing it. And the mentor didn't spoon feed me. Every night after work, I will come home, look for deals, run the numbers, and slowly build my real estate winning team. And then it happened. 2 months later, I was standing in front of my first property, keys in my hands. What once felt impossible, now it was real. That property made me $52,000 and gave me monthly cash flow. But more important than that, it gave me proof that faith, discipline, and obedience multiplies. Since then, I've done millions worth of real estate deals and built a stock market portfolio. Not because I'm lucky, but because I stopped doing it all alone. Because I decided to learn from somebody else's mistakes. Because I wanted to be where someone else was. And I went and asked for mentorship from them. And I didn't expect it to be for free, because nothing that is good comes for free. Every time I invested in mentorship, it shortened my learning curve and saved me from costly mistakes and multiplied my income faster and more than I could have ever done on my own. If you're sitting there thinking, I don't know where to start, I get it. But doing nothing, it's still a choice. And sadly, it's the most expensive choice that you will ever make. God never designed for growth to be one-dimensional. That's why the exponential growth path mirrors the way God multiplies, with wisdom, discernment, discipline, diversification, and obedience.